Hello nerds and nerdettes, welcome back to the channel where we will be going over the most anticipated releases during the month of February. We are already in that month and we have a lot of exciting releases, not as exciting as January in my opinion, but still some books that are either noteworthy or something that I would like and I think you guys would like and you should definitely be on the lookout for. When ordering or pre-ordering these books, you can head on over to organicpricedbooks.com. Use the code STAYNERDY at checkout to get $2 off your order. Great packaging. You never have to worry about anything that's coming from Organic Priced Books. It will never be damaged and it will always be in immaculate condition. But with that being said, I also want to remind you guys to try and get the channel to its goal of 500 subscribers so we can start that giveaway on that beautiful colors omnibus that I announced in the previous video. Very exciting. I can't wait to actually put that video out and allow one of you to actually receive it. I'm more than likely going to do a quick review slash overview on the book and kind of announce it in that video, but that won't be released until, as I said, the channel hits 500 subscribers, so be on the lookout for that. But we can go ahead and jump into our most anticipated titles, starting with number 10, of course. We're going to be a little bit informal with this one. I'm going to have my phone with my actual listing, so I'm not going to get any information wrong or anything like that. I think it is easier for me to remember, therefore I don't miss anything that you guys may want to know for the titles. This is also a top 10, so as I said, we're starting with 10 and going to number 1 in order of least anticipated to most anticipated. There's a massive amount of titles coming out this month. These are just the ones that I felt were noteworthy, as I've already said. But number 10, we have the Planet Hulk Omni coming out February 14th. It's going to be 656 pages with a price tag, cover price at least, of $100. The title, the event, or whatever you want to call it, speaks for itself. A lot of people's favorite Hulk story ever. I already have the oversized hardcover in my collection, so more than likely I won't be picking this up, but I put it at number 10 just for you guys mainly. Anybody that's watching this and doesn't necessarily know that it's getting a reprint in this month, definitely be on the lookout for it. It is a great book, great title. Hulk on another planet, essentially fighting a gladiator Roman kind of style dictatorship. Super interesting is the build up to World War Hulk, required reading for that event, and it's absolutely awesome. I think the price tag's a little high for the amount of pages included. If you probably have a trade paperback or a hardcover, you're probably good with that, but if you did want the omnibus and those little extras that they do add, then it is coming out on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Maybe a great Valentine's Day gift for you. But that wraps up number 10, which is Planet Hulk, the omnibus reprint. So we'll go ahead and head to number 9. And at number 9 is Bitterroot. It's a hardcover collection, I believe. I haven't seen a whole lot of information on this title, but the art, the cover, the things I have heard about it, it's kind of a New Orleans style or inspired story, indie title, something I haven't read before, so it's always exciting. And I really want to get it into the collection and actually experience it. As I've said before, I'm trying to track down a lot of indie titles that kind of pique my interest and get them into the collection and actually get to read them, because despite a couple big name titles such as Saga, Walking Dead, Invincible, I don't have a whole lot of experience with a lot of indie titles, which is why it's been such an interesting road that I've went down with my collection. But I really want to get this in and actually read it. It is coming out on February 21st, has 528 pages and a price tag of $60, so great bang for your buck there. I'm pretty sure it's a hardcover. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but that's Bitterroot coming in at number 9, so we can head to number 8. Number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy by Brian Michael Bendis, the omnibus reprint. I slept on this omnibus. I saw it multiple times for a great price, kept not picking it up, and now, of course, I'm regretting it. I have to wait for the reprint, which is completely fine. This is essentially the run on the team following kind of the hype of the DNA kind of introduction of the team. Brian Michael Bendis has a somewhat decently sized run on the characters, very much fleshing them out, making them very similar to the movie characters. This is a deep inspiration for the MCU as well as the DNA run, but this run as well, a super fun run, a lot of comedy based inside, or comic relief inside the actual run itself. It does get some mixed reviews. A lot of people don't like it as much as the DNA run. Some people do. It really depends on your taste. But this run and the DNA run are really the only two collections that I'll really even put into my library, because I'm not a huge Guardians fan, but they are noteworthy. A lot of the DNA run being collected in the Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest and War of Kings and everything like that. So really, this is the only single Guardians of the Galaxy Omni that I really need. It is released on February 28th, has a page count of 1,152 with a cover price of $125, which is essentially what you're looking at for most Omnis these days coming out of Marvel, as well as DC most times. Seems like the standard price. Really good stuff. If you are a fan of Guardians, I highly recommend it. Great art throughout, and it's finally getting a reprint. It was floating around there for a little while, but I guess they wanted to actually get an official reprint for those that wanted it. But that does wrap up number 8, so we'll head to number 7, which number 7 for my manga fans will be Parasite in the full color hardcover editions, Volume 2. Recently doing a review on Volume 1, which I'll leave the link up above. But this was a very anticipated release for me when it was first initially announced. I've collected Volume 1, I want to continue with it, and I can't speak highly enough about it. It is very gory, action-packed, a little out there, like a lot of manga series really, but it's completely in full color, which I've said before for those of you that don't read manga or maybe want to get into manga. It's fairly rare for a manga collection to be collected in full color completely. Usually you get color pages in the beginning of a chapter or maybe a volume, but this is completely in color, and I'm through the moon. I'm happy that it got a beautiful treatment. It's a very well-known series, has a great anime adaptation if you're not a reader, but I want to continue collecting it. It's yet another series I need to hunt down now, like Fullmetal Alchemist, but it is what it is. If it's not Fullmetal Alchemist, it's another title, so whatever. But we do have a release date of February 14th, so Valentine's Day, a page count of 288 pages, and a cover price of $20. Fairly standard for manga collected editions, that $20 price tag, and kind of that page count realm. The one catch for this is that it is in full color, and it actually hasn't increased the price of the volume all that much. A lot of volumes, such as like manhwa volumes that are in full color, the price tag usually reflects that, but in this case you get beautiful page quality or paper quality, and you also get full color for pretty much the same price of a standard manga collection. So that's super exciting, and that's exactly why it snuck into my list. But I cannot recommend it enough. Check out that review, see if it's something you'd be into. But that does wrap up number 7, so we can head to number 6. Which I feel like if you are a fan of the channel, you probably knew this was going to be on the list at some point because of how much I've talked about it. I feel like every video I'm making some mention of this title, but number 6 is Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition Volume 8, which is scheduled to release on February 7th, but I have heard that could potentially change, so be on the lookout for that if you are trying to track that down. That date may change. It's going to be 672 pages, pretty much the same page count that a lot of these deluxe editions are, and of course a cover price of $50, which is the standard for these deluxe editions as well, whether it's Berserk, Hellsing, or Blade of the Immortal. But cannot speak highly enough on these Dark Horse deluxe editions in these manga volumes. They are absolutely beautiful. Page quality, deepest blacks, whitest whites, absolutely amazing. And when you have titles like Berserk or Blade of the Immortal, where the art is beyond spectacular, it is a must to get in this oversized format. Really allows the art to pop. Blade of the Immortal is a very interesting story, one that I wasn't a huge fan of when I first started collecting it, but has easily earned its place in my top 5 favorite manga that I've ever read so far. And I can't recommend that enough either. It feels a lot like comic books. You have a samurai that is essentially unable to die for specific reasons to avoid spoilers, but really good stuff. I can't wait for more of these Dark Horse Deluxe editions. I've been seeing overseas they have Lone Wolf and Cub Deluxe editions. Fingers crossed that's what we receive, but it is absolutely an amazing title, and that's why it's at number 6. So we can go ahead and jump into the top 5 with number 5. Which, if you're a fan of the channel, you probably saw this coming as well, him being my favorite superhero ever, which is, of course, Captain America by Nick Spencer, scheduled to come out February 14th, which seems like a date where a lot of big books are coming out. Valentine's Day, so anybody that wants presents, give these hints to your significant other. It has 888 pages, which is below what I thought it was going to be, but it's okay, with a $100 price tag, which is also below what I thought it was going to be, but I'll take it. This is pretty much the run on the character that is extremely divisive because of the whole Secret Empire kind of storyline. Captain America's famous words, Hail Hydra. This is the run where that pretty much happens. It begins right after the Rick Remender run, I believe, so continuing with Sam Wilson as Captain America, and then leads into the Secret Empire kind of event. I happen to enjoy it. It was a Captain America focused mini event or event, so I loved it. We also got to see the return of young, normal Steve Rogers Captain America, which of course I'm a fan of, and I really enjoyed it, but I understand that some people did not. I feel like this is somewhat of a, I guess, historic book that you want to pick up just because of the whole Hail Hydra aspect of this story. I feel like it's going to be probably pulled off shelves fairly quickly from buyers because of that being included. And I happen to really like the art and the storytelling throughout. Nick Spencer, a lot of his runs I feel like are fairly slept on. I also enjoyed his Spider-Man run, but I have to get it. Of course, it's in my top 5. It's Captain America. He's my boy, and I had to pick it up. But I highly recommend at least giving it a shot. Maybe getting the Secret Empire hardcover or trade paperback to just give it kind of a feel, maybe before jumping into the entire run. But it's in my top 5, so we'll jump to number 4, which is Avengers by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 1, the reprint. Very noteworthy run on the team on Avengers. This is essentially the run that leads up to Secret Wars, which leads up to the Marvel Now era of Marvel. Very important book. I'd probably say his Fantastic Four and his Avengers runs, because there's also a Secret Avengers run that he completes as well, are very important to read going into Secret Wars. Not the old school recently released Secret Wars, but the, 2016 or something like that, Secret Wars. Definitely a must read if you want to jump into that and eventually enter into the Marvel Now era of comic books, for Marvel at least. I personally enjoy this run a lot. It does feel very wordy. It is very story driven, so if you're looking for that action-packed, kind of turn off the brain read for Avengers, this is not it. This is extremely story-driven and has very high stakes going into it, but very historic, once again, something that is kind of necessary reading when reading through Marvel Comics, and it really is good stuff. This is volume 1 of 2, so we do have a second volume. last printing had connecting spines, which is pretty awesome. It's very rare we get connecting spines for omnibuses, so that's of course exciting, but I don't have it in my collection, so I need to get this in so I can have that beautiful run collected in omnibus format, which it's very deserving of. But that does wrap up number 4. I'm not sure if I said the dates, but this does come out February 7th with 1,192 pages and a price tag of $125. Fairly standard there. But like I said, that does wrap up number 4, so we can head to number 3, which is the beautiful X-Men, the animated series omnibus. Essentially, the animated series, the cartoon that a lot of us either grew up watching or have since revisited and watched. The animated series turned into a comic book and collected into an omnibus. That's essentially the synopsis of what this is. It is scheduled to release February 7th with a page count of 1,008 pages, price tag of $125. Fairly standard there. I think if a Omni is entering into the 1,000-page mark, you're probably going to get hit with that 125. Anything below but kind of close, probably 100, and then anything below that, 75, which is why I feel like the price tag for Planet Hulk is a little high for my liking. Getting totally off topic, but very, very fun. If you like the animated series, you're going to love this. It's just, it turned into a comic book with beautiful 90s style art, great covers. There's not much more to say about it other than it's the show turned into a comic book. But we can finish up with number 2, which our second most anticipated omnibus to be released in the month of February is going to be the Immortal Iron Fist omnibus, finally getting a reprint. I'm hearing that it's essentially an expanded edition, which is super exciting. I'm extremely pumped for that. I love when they do that, making the reprint kind of worth it. Kind of don't at the same time, because then it does force some people that may already have the previous omnibus to have to upgrade, but whatever. We're getting more content. I'm always a sucker for more content. This is a very character-defining run on the character of Iron Fist. This is what kind of really put him on the map. Him being a character, somewhat of an obscure character even in Marvel beforehand, and then this run really made a lot of people enjoy not only his title, but who he is in general. Very great storytelling and art throughout. We do have a scheduled release date of February 28th, so the end of the month there, with a page count of 1,048 pages. A lot of pages there, and of course, a price tag of $125. Super exciting anytime we get these reprints of books that I really want. And that's definitely one you're going to want to look out for, because last time it came out, people were raving about how great it is, and it is that good. It's probably the best run on the character. Not that he's had that many, but definitely worth the read, especially if maybe the Netflix show or the Defender show, whatever it may be, kind of tickled your fancy a little bit and you want to find out more. This is how you do it. This is the run to dive deeper into the character of Iron Fist. But that wraps up number 2, so we can head to the last, final, most anticipated release in the month of February. Which, of course, number 1 most anticipated release for the month of February is the Spider-Verse Omnibus, the event maniac that I am, which I understand I'm in the minority there of loving events, but such a great and fun event. This is the inspiration for Into the Spider-Verse, which is the Miles Morales movie that was released. This also inspired the last MCU Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. A lot of fun taking place during the Dan Slott run, but piggybacking off of a character and kind of a an idea that was introduced in the Spider-Man JMS run, which is my favorite run on the character, so I love that it's piggybacked off of that. Great art throughout. You get to revisit a lot of characters that have not really been part of the Marvel Universe, such as Ben Reilly, Superior Spider-Man. Cannot speak highly enough. If you don't like events, then you may not like this book, but it is scheduled to come out February 21st with a page count of 1440. So this is going to be a massive, massive book, and a price tag of $125, which I'm okay paying that price for the page count that's included. This is going to be probably one of the larger Marvel omnibuses that we've been given so far, and I'm through the moon, beyond excited. I really enjoyed the Spider-Verse event, and how we got to see multiple Spider-Mans kind of go different ways and different routes about the character at hand that they had to deal with, and so you almost get to see different teams of different Spider-Mans and how those incarnations or different variants of Spider-Man, sometimes not even Peter, would handle the situation, as well as a lot of touching moments when we get to see variants of Gwen Stacy meeting Peter Parker, or Uncle Ben meeting Peter Parker, etc., etc. Super good. I don't want to give away too much, but it is a lot of fun, and it's also a huge inspiration for a lot of aspects of Spider-Man that are now being extremely expanded on, obviously with the next Into the Spider-Verse movie coming out as well. So definitely want to be on the lookout for that. If those type of movies or mediums, whatever interest you, definitely be on the lookout. I know I will be. One of the covers I'm definitely looking forward to. The other one is a little funky dunky, but I'm sure it will tickle somebody's fancy out there, which is fine with me. But that does wrap up today's list, so we'll head to the end of the video for the outro. So of course, thank you so much for watching. As always, we are so close to the channel's goal of 500 subscribers to start that giveaway on the Colors Omnibus by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because that is going to be half the battle. The rest of the things that will be needed to enter the drawing will be released with that video, kind of making the giveaway go live, if you will. Very good stuff. That video will be dropped once we hit 500 subscribers, which hopefully should happen soon, so be on the lookout for that. I'd also really appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up icon. It really means a lot, helps the algorithm and the channel grow, which I always appreciate. And also comment down below, let me know what titles you're most anticipated for. We got a lot of big releases, first-time omnibuses, expanded editions, continuations of series, a lot of good stuff during this month, a lot to look out for as well. So I'm excited. I don't know where I'm going to get the money to afford this stuff, much like you who's watching right now. But it's still exciting to actually see these books provided and created and everything like that. But that does wrap up the video, so thank you so much, and of course, as always, stay nerdy.